Good afternoon, everybody. I am Jana Bontrager, the owner-director of Big River Academy, and it is my pleasure to introduce to you Mrs. Marjorie Impraim. She's going to be covering her math classes today. Marjorie, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, hello everyone. How's everybody doing? Over here on the East Coast, we had a little mini blizzard yesterday. So that was fun. The kids still had school, so oh well, sorry. It's one of the beauties of homeschooling. But it was still nice to get outside and shovel some snow and have fun with our neighbors. So, like Jana mentioned, my name is Marjorie Impraim, and I will be teaching a few math classes at Big River Academy this summer, as well as for the 2017-18 school year. And I'm going to try to center my body in the right place here on the camera. All right, so again, my name is Marjorie Impraim, and so I just want to get started and tell you the main class I'll be teaching in the fall is algebra, but I'll talk to you about a few other classes, some half-year classes, math classes that I'll also be teaching. So with no further ado, we can go to the next slide. All righty. This is my family. This is me. I call us my salty family, not because we're angry. Not because we're angry. Am I sharing? You might need to share. I thought I shared my camera.
I can see you, but you're frozen.
Oh,
I
you
can
can
see
see
you,
me?
but you're frozen.
Oh, I'm frozen. Okay, I shouldn't be frozen. All right, let's try. Let's try something here. How about now? Am I
You're
still
still
frozen?
frozen, but that's okay. We can hear you just fine.
Okay, oh no, I don't want to be frozen. Let's see. Okay. Anyway, this is my family. My Matthew 5:13. So we call ourselves, I call us our salty family because we want to be the salt of the earth. This is me right here, and this is me and my husband. And this is NaCl. It's a model of salt that we built this summer, the kids and I, well, last semester. And these are my four oldest, and we were visiting Grandpa. And this is our last edition, Sophia. She is, in this picture, she's only, actually in this picture, although she looks like she is about a 3 month old baby, in this picture she is actually about 1. She was a micro preemie. And so, yeah, no way, I know. I got to have a baby for a really long time, so that was really fun. So she was a micro preemie. She was 1 pound at birth, and so we learned a lot about trusting God during that time. So that is my family. And am I still frozen, Jana? Yes. Okay. I wonder what that is. There anything I can play around with? Let's see. Share on my screen. Would sharing my screen help? No, that's not it.
No, I don't think
Okay.
so. Let's see. Let me take your webcam off here just a second, and let's try it again.
Okay. Okay. So you want me to start my webcam again?
Yes, give it a shot again.
Okay. So I'm moving. I should be moving.
No, you're in a different position. It's like it takes a snapshot of you.
It took a snapshot of me. Okay. All right. Well, it's going to just have to be good enough for now. All right. So we can move to the next slide. All right. So a little bit about myself. My name is Marjorie Impraim, like I said, and I've been married for 17 years, a little over 17 years, to my college sweetheart. I'm an alumni of the University of Maryland at College Park. My bachelor's degree is actually in microbiology, and I worked as a research associate at the Institute for Genomic Research when I first graduated from college. And basically what I was doing there was sequencing bacterial genomes. That basically means to figure out the DNA sequence for an entire bacterial genome. And so these are three of the bacterial genomes that I worked on. Probably the most exciting one is this one, GBA, which is actually Bacillus anthracis, and you and I know that as anthrax. That's what we call anthrax. So that was really fun. I've been homeschooling since 2006, and I head up a science homeschool co-op called Labor of Love in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. And it was run through my church, Calvary Chapel. We've been members there for about 20 years now. And I have tutored students in college organic chemistry, college algebra, college calculus, finite math, and other subjects. I also enjoy facilitating women's Bible studies and co-counseling with my husband. So that is a little bit about me, and we can now switch over. All right, so what classes would I be teaching this summer? How can you teach a math class in the summer? So the classes I'll be teaching in the summer are Bridge. They're 7-week classes, and they meet twice a week for about 100 minutes at a time. And the first class is called Bridge to Algebra One, and I call them bridge classes. So they're Bridge to Algebra One, and that's for students preparing to enter Algebra One, or who have taken Algebra 1 but need to go back for over some fundamentals before they move on to geometry or Algebra 2. The other class is Bridge to Algebra 2, and the name explains itself. It's for students. It's for students who have taken Algebra 1 and are going directly into Algebra 2, or for those who took Algebra 1, geometry, and need to brush up before going to Algebra 2. So the question oftentimes that parents ask about the sequence of math is, should a student go from Algebra 1 to Algebra 2, or from Algebra 1 to geometry and then Algebra 2? And it really depends on the parent and what you think for your student. Geometry is very, to me, it's kind of stuck there in the middle. It's not really related to Algebra 1 or 2. It's just kind of stuck there in the middle. But parents like to do that because you see geometry on the SAT. So they want to make sure that their children see geometry before they start taking that SAT. So some parents like to do that. Remediation, it can be remedial for some people. Some people can take it concurrently with, I've seen where people have taken classes like this concurrently with their math classes. So it can be remedial, or it can just be brushing up. Sometimes I'll ask my kids who are in, my oldest son who's in geometry, he's at the end. We did Algebra 1, Algebra 2, then geometry. So he's pretty much at the end of what's really required. He's going to go on to like calc and pre-calc and calc and so forth, just because he is going towards that path towards computer science and engineering. But sometimes I'll ask them quick questions. What is this from one of my classes? And he has to stop and think, and he'll say, oh, this is that. And so it could be seen as remedial, or it could just be seen as review. It just depends on the child. So I don't mind having my kids sit in if I'm teaching a lesson I think that they could benefit from. So yep, it could be supplemental as well. So we can go to the next slide. All right, full year 2017-18 Algebra 1 class. It's a full year Algebra 1 class. It's 30 weeks. It's once a week for 90 minutes. There's 4 lessons covered a week, and 120 lessons total. Tests will be given every 12 lessons. So every we'll cover 1, 2, 3 weeks of material, and then we'll take a test. Homework will be assigned with parental monitoring for completion. What does that mean? So homework will be assigned in the textbook. You'll have a solution manual, and we'll go over the textbook next. You'll have your solutions manual, and so the student's responsibility is to go over the homework, and if they need help, the solutions manual is there to help them along. And then the parents will sign a form weekly indicating that they have actually completed all the homework problems, and also indicating any homework problems that they need help with. So what does that mean? So when they come to class next week, I can see, okay, which homework problems gave the most issues, and those problems I'll cover in like a homework time at the beginning of class. It'll be like a 10 to 20 minute time frame that I set apart to cover homework. Okay, so the majority of the homework will be done by the student with parental oversight and verification from the parents that they've actually done the homework. And then they would the parents would upload the signed sheet indicating to me that the child has done the homework for that week. Okay, so in addition to that, I will assign periodic quizzes, which will be automated. So they'll be similar to tests. There'll be periodic automated quizzes. Class attendance, of course, will be important. Of course, if you can't attend class, we understand that. And so you would go back and watch the recording. I usually upload the recordings within 5 minutes of my class being done, so that students who missed and want to go back that morning can do it if they want to. But we will have homework. Class attendance is very important because that's where you can ask a question. But if you miss class attendance, you can also come to office hours. I will have a 1 hour office hour period every week where students can come into the classroom and have almost what is essentially one-on-one tutoring. Okay, I find that this is a resource that many students don't take advantage of, but it is like paying for built-in tutoring. Okay, so I talked about homework lab at the beginning of each class for homework questions in the weekly office hours. So we can go to the next slide. All right, so what textbooks will I be using for the various classes? So this is for Bridge to Algebra 1. It's called Math Made a Bit Easier, and it's kind of misleading to call it a textbook. It's really not a textbook. It's more so a resource book, I find, for parents, teachers, and older students. It really doesn't do the job in terms of for a student to have textbooks. So for this class and this class, I provide most of the homework sheets and quizzes and tests. I would provide those things. They would be printable PDFs and as well as electronic homework. I just haven't been able to find a really good book that is a bridge book. It's not a full course curriculum for a class as short as 7 weeks, 7 to 10 weeks. Just haven't been able to find anything really good. However, these books do fit the bill. I have to put together most of the work in the curriculum, which is fine. It's been working out really well. This book, Math Made a Bit Easier, and Basic Algebra and Geometry Made a Bit Easier, are by a gentleman named Larry Zaffron, and he's actually got some pretty good videos on the internet where he explains a lot of math principles and how to work certain problems. I also use Khan Academy a lot. Khan Academy has a lot of videos. It's rich with videos to prepare students for the SATs, as well as to just help them with everyday math assignments. It is really a godsend. It really is. So, and it's free. It's unbelievable. It's free. So those are the two books I'd be using for Bridge to Algebra 1 and Bridge to Algebra 2. You do not need to purchase these books, but you can if you want. You can if you want to. They also come with an accompanying book that will have like 1 or 2 examples per problem. I have those as well. But you do not, the parents do not need to purchase these books, but you can if you want. I thought it was worthwhile purchasing because I knew I'd be teaching math, and also because I have a lot of little ones. So I thought it was worthwhile for me to purchase it long before teaching this class. But it really is up to the parent. For algebra, how old is older? I'm not sure what you mean. I was talking so fast, I'm not sure. You mentioned older students before. Okay, I see. Now, okay, yes. So as you read Larry Zafran's, his instructions and so forth, he actually suggests these books for college students, students who are having remedial problems in college. This is really a big problem. I've noticed when I used to tutor my college students, I noticed they had fundamentals missing. I couldn't believe it. There were things that they should have learned in the 7th grade, 8th grade, and they were in college trying to play catch up. And so it really is a big problem. I think these bridge classes are wonderful. I've always gone over these things in the summertime with my own students, my own children, because I don't like that summer brain drain, first of all. And then also because I just wanted them to stay on top with math. Math is one of those things that it is very, it slips away. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. So I just, personally, that's my take on it. All right, so for Algebra 1, which will be this fall, we are using Saxon, the 3rd edition. I did not type that up here, but that's a very important distinction. We're using the 3rd edition of Saxon. We are not using the 4th edition Saxon. And that decision has come through a lot of prayer and a lot of, I have the Saxon 4th edition. How do I say this without getting in trouble? I don't favor it. I do favor Saxon 3rd edition. As I've read and done research on the internet, talked to other teachers, other seasoned math teachers, the general consensus is they do not like I will share why. They do not like Saxon 4th edition. My students who have used Saxon 4th edition have said the same thing. And the reason is, I was reading an article about it. Well, they made major changes from 3rd and 4th edition. John, I think his name is John Saxon, was not the publisher for the 4th edition. He has been for all the other editions, but he's not been the publisher for the 4th edition. Houghton Mifflin is the publisher for the 4th edition. Here's the thing that happened. Because your textbook has to meet state standards. They wanted this textbook to meet state standards for every single state. Okay? So you can imagine, whereas though this book, the 3rd edition I have, if I hold the 3rd edition next to the 4th edition in my hand, it's unreal. The 4th edition is twice as big. It's filled with a lot of labs and a lot of investigations and a lot of extra work, and it's suited to fit every single state's standards. Well, the problem is that if I live in Maryland, state standards are probably different than in Idaho, and perhaps there are things that are not necessary for my children to know, and so they jam-packed stuffed it. It literally is twice as heavy, twice as big, and there's been no proof that it's done a better job. So I want to teach math. I don't want to discourage my students. I think it has a lot to do with Common Core. I do. I really do think it has a lot to do with that. I don't want to discourage my students. I just want them to learn and to enjoy math. I don't want them to have math anxiety, for them to have 100 problems to do a week, whereas though we could learn general principles and we can get it done with 25 problems, 30 problems a week. Okay? So that's the reason I've chosen to do third edition of the Saxon math this year. You will also need a graphing calculator. I've yeah, I used to suffer from math anxiety too when I was in high school. And then I got to college and I just fell in love with it. It was crazy. It was really crazy. I remember going through Calc 2 and just thinking, I really click with this, and just acing it and thinking, what's next? Well, my husband told me he was taking Calc 3 and Calc 4 and stuff, and I think they don't even use numbers in those. I think they don't even use numbers in those higher maths. So I think, okay, well, let me stop while before my luck runs out. So at any rate, you also need a graphing calculator. TI 83 or above would be sufficient. I will be putting together some graphing calculator exercises so that when your children reach Algebra 2 or geometry, it will not be the first time they've seen a graphing calculator. We didn't use graphing calculators in Algebra 1 when I was in school, but that has changed dramatically over the years. They're using them younger and younger. So they are a little more costly. You can get them on Amazon. I've purchased them on Amazon. I will probably not do that anymore, just because I paid like 40 something or 50 bucks for one. And it may have been refurbished because it lasted, I think, less than a year. So that is all for, they are definitely more reasonable than they used to be. Yes, and if you buy the higher ones, like the TI 89s, or I think 89 is the highest one. No, 89 is probably not the highest one. No, I'm sorry, 89. Getting into the 90s, they do tend to be more expensive the higher they go. So I think it increases function. You get more functionality increase. Also, it comes with hardware and things where you can use a USB and hook it up to your computer and this, that, and the other, and so forth. Some people do use their smartphones. You can actually use your smartphone as a graphing calculator. My son uses my smartphone at times. Personally, I don't personally care for it because, yeah, in the lower levels when it doesn't matter as much, the issue comes with access to the internet when someone's taking a test. You couldn't do that in the SAT. Kids can get into situations where they're tempted to search the internet for something, an answer or something, and you think they're using a calculator. So some math teachers do shy away from that, and that is very understandable. I don't think you're allowed to use a phone in the SAT. I think you have to use a graphing calculator. Yeah, if I remember correctly. My son just took the PSAT. So, I think, do I have one more slide, Jana?
Nope, that looks like it is it. I can't think of any
Okay.
questions to ask you.
If you want, did you want me to do a sample problem on whiteboard?
Yeah, you can do that. Kind of walk through one for us. So let me
Mm-hmm.
stop sharing and give you a whiteboard here.
Okie dokie.
There you go.
All right, so let me just think of something. Let's draw let me do my color black. And let's say, let's draw a Cartesian coordinate here. Ooh, that's it's funny, you never know how that's going to look. All right, so let's draw, this is our simple Cartesian coordinate, our XY plane. And this is our first quadrant. This is our first quadrant, our second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. And let's graph a line, okay? Let's put our line in y equals mx plus b format. That is, yes, very good, Jenna. Yay, very good. Yes, m is your slope. We know m is your slope. B is what's called your y-intercept. And so what we're going to do is we're going to solve our equation. We're going to set up one of these. And all you really need to graph a line is a point on the line. So let's, a point on the graph, let's say 2, 3, and then let's say your slope, whoops, your slope equals, let's give it a slope of 2, okay? That's our point. So with a point and a slope, you can put your formula in what's called the point-slope form, okay? You can put your point, you can put your point and your slope into what's called the point-slope form. All right, so let me see. Okay, so point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And I hope I don't run out of space here. So I'm just going to plug and chug here. Y minus, well, y1 we know is 3 from here. See this right here, that 3, okay? That's our y1. So it's y minus 3 equals m, which is our slope, 2 times x minus, x1 is 2. We know x1 is 2 from our other point, from our point. We know x is 2, all right? So what we would do is solve this, all right? And I'm going to write it down because I did run out of space here. So I'm going to write it down. Just bear with me for 1 second. All right, and I'm going to go to the next page. Y minus 3 equals 2 times x minus 2. Now what I desire to do is get one of those Surface Pro books so that I can just write on the screen. It's so much faster and so much easier. So that's my plan by the time I start algebra classes, to have one of those Surface Pro books. So y equals, I know I'm going to transfer this minus 3. It will be nice. I'm going to transfer this minus 3 over here, which means the sign changes. So y equals 2 times x minus 2. Okay, well, I'm just rewriting that. And the minus 3, because it skips over the equal sign, we know that it becomes a plus 3. Okay? You with me? All right, so now let's start simplifying. Y equals 2x minus 4 plus 3. Yay. So it's starting to look more like a slope-intercept form. Y, you see that y equals mx plus b is coming. It's getting into that form. So y equals 2x. Negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. 2x minus 1. Yay, Janice said I can do it from here. Yay! So now it's in, our formula went from what's called a point-slope form. You only need a point on a line and the slope to put it into point-slope form. Once you do that, you can transfer it into slope-intercept form. So our I'm using my southern accent. I'm trying to use my northern accent. I naturally use my southern accent. Our slope is 2, and our y-intercept is right here. It's the negative 1. Okay, so y equals 2x minus 1. Well, we can just plug and chug right here into one of these charts here. And I always use easy points like 0, 1, and negative 1. All right, so if x equals 0, then y equals what? Drum roll, please. Don't everybody answer at once. Negative 1. Very good. Exactly. So when x equals 0, then our solution is negative 1. All right. When x equals 1, Our solution is y equals 2 times 1. Yay! 2 times 1 minus 1, which is 2 minus 1, which is 1. Very good. We actually can graph with that. We don't even need to do this. If you've got 2 points and you're just doing a line, you know it's a line because it's in regular old y equals mx plus b. We know it's a line. You can graph a line with 2 points. You really don't need it. You don't need the third point there. Third point just kind of verifies. All right, so let's pretend, let's see, 1, 2, 3. We really don't need that many. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, y equals 2x minus 1. Let's see what you look like on a line. Well, our first point is 0, negative 1. So it's right here. It's actually on the y-axis. All right, and 1, 1, which is right here. It's in our first quadrant. So we draw our trusty little line right through there, and that is our line. That is our line, and it has a slope of 2. And let's see if that y-intercept is correct. We said the y-intercept was negative 1. All right, is that true? Yes. Y-intercept means where our line cuts the y-axis, and it cut the y-axis at negative 1 right there. Okay, so that's our very simple, quick algebraic solution of y equals mx plus b. Given a point and the slope, we can stick it into the point slope form and then transfer it into slope-intercept form and quickly graph a line. It would be very different if you were graphing an inequality, or if you were graphing a circle, or if you were graphing any other shape, like a cubed function or a square root function. You can't just have 2 points on the line. It gets much more complicated then. But that would be towards the end of algebra, maybe even in Algebra 2. So, but that's just a regular graph of a line. Okay, so I think that is it.
That was great, Marjorie. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching, and this concludes her webinar.